Right, this is block number 2 and it's called the Anvil block. Again, this is Generations Quilt pattern, Anvil, Anvil quilt block. So if you put that up, and then that's what it looks like. Now there's several ways of doing an Anvil block. I've done mine slightly different, so I have one piece left over every time. That's fine. I can put it in one of my bags. Now on this you've got traditional piecing and you've got paper piecing, so you want the green one. Again, I did the same as before, chose which ones I was going to do, which was 4-inch, 6-inch and 8-inch. Then I obviously, you can see there, I did background, used the medium, ticked the darks. That's a medium, so I called it medium 1 and medium 2. It all depends what colours you want to use. And then again, for the small, the medium and the large, I wrote down, so I didn't have to keep going across the pattern. I wrote everything I needed and I put the colours next to them. So 5 times 1.78 background colour. That one was dark, that one was dark, that was medium 2, medium 3. Then I can always reference this back to where I was going to put it. So it's small, medium, large, cut them out all at the same time. Generations Quilt pattern, Anvil block, and then you'll get that pattern. So this is what it looks like. I assume that that's the anvil there, that's the block, and then that's the side bits. It's an old block again, nice and free, which is what we like, and these are my colours. There's a lot of subcutting to be done on this one. So I'm doing the large, and I think I have one of these left over, I'm not sure. But it's because I do mine slightly different, so we're going to copy this one. So there you are then, let's go. I've now got the right colour down off the wall so we can see what we're doing. We're going to do this one first. So that's my first colour, or my first medium colour, and this is my background, and we've got to make 2 half square triangles, and we know how to make half square triangles, and that is to draw a line across the centre of the background, or the lightest one you've got. Put it on top, making sure you've got it the right way round, and then sew. And I think, yeah, let me have a think. This one is either side of the line. And then cut it in half along the pencil mark, and then you've got your 2, and then obviously put your darker one on the top, and be careful about this because it's on the bias, it's a half square triangle. Press and then cut your dog ends off, dog ears. So that's these. So then of course we've got to put these on. So if we've got that way, then obviously we need to cut one of these in half, but we need to do both sides, so we'll do 2. So we'll corner to corner. And do the same with this one. And then we need to do this pattern, which is, let me think, it's got to go in a straight line across there, look. So basically we're creating that corner there. So we need to do that first on both of those. So this is what we need to create. That's that there. So pick the first one up, making sure that you've got the right size together. And then I would just, I would turn it under so the seam was going towards the darker block, which is the inner one. Then if you put them back together again, you know you've got the right place. Put that side. And again, do your seam under, and that way then it tucks them out the way. You can always cut the dog ears off. If you tuck it under, it makes it neater. There you go, and we need to do that again. Okay, there's two, and then press. So now we're doing these sections, and so you do the same again. You cut these in half because you want two, one either side. And then you take this one. If you're using directional fabric, then put the bit in you want to show most. And again, you have to get, so you need the top end to go straight across there. And then so that's that way, and then you need this to go straight. So you'll need an out like that. That's what you need it to look like. Straight, like making a corner. So what I've got to do is make sure these are the right way up. So I'm making a corner again and a straight line across there, and we do that twice. And then you've got two of those, and you need to press. So this is what we've got so far. Obviously we're copying this one, or we're copying the picture or the pattern. Two black, and then, and the base, these here are supposed to represent birds. You could have a bird block or something. It's another block that's made to use up this Anvil block. So what we need to do now is, because we need these two together, so we cut these in half and sew these together and these together. So again, So I've got them two and those two. Move them over to your machine. Put them together, and then obviously then they go that way, but I would press. So the first one we'll do, the first seam we'll finger press to the dark side, and it'll probably be both to the dark side because they're opposite. Yep, so do them both to the darker side, whichever fabric you're using, and then you nest them in the middle. You've got one seam going this way, the other seam going the opposite way. Because this is all on the biased, I don't want anything to move or stretch. So I'm going to pin them because I want them points to end up exactly where they're supposed to, in the middle. So I'm going to pin this one so nothing moves. And that at the in there should be spot on. 4 points all joined in the right place. So again, now don't forget this is stretchy because it's on the bias. Be careful how you should actually be able to open this. Let's have a look. See if it works. Right, there you go. If you open there up, it'll flatten down a lot easier, and then press with them open like that. This is how our block should look like. This one, which is like that, which is exactly the same as the one we did before. And again, I always have one left over. That's because they make it differently to me. On this one, cut your dog ears off. And then your black should go to the opposite colour. So move them over onto your machine or next to your machine in the order you wish. And sew them together. I've used my iron and I've pressed, folded it over and pressed all the sides, so I've got marks on all 4 bits. The centre of this is where that point is there, so I've got black to the red on mine, so make sure you get the right side to the right bit, base together, and then wherever my line is on my fabric, I line that up with that point and then move it up to there, and then I can pin. That's in the right place. But I'm going to sew on this side because that's where my seams are, and I want to make sure that my seams are going to behave themselves. you want to keep that point clear. That's that one. So your block now should look like that. So I'm going to give this a press because it's a mess at the back, and do some, get some of these bits off. That's a bit better at the back. Press them down. I actually use more starch on this one. So this one we need to just tidy up slightly. You might not have to on yours, it depends how neat and tidy you were. I'm just cutting off these dog ears there. On those there. And just there. So this one measures about 8 1/4. Or about 8 1/4. It's the same both sides, but it doesn't matter because it's going to have more on the outside later. So that's what you should have. If you do yours slightly different, there is several ways of doing an Anvil block. Straighten that up a bit. There you go. And all my points, look, are still intact. I did a scant 1/4 inch. So my points are there. And then they should have 1/4 inch on that one and that one. You might have to do a scant 1/4 to get that point in and that point in later on. But anyway, that's block number 2.